And you're still muted, I can see.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. So this is the 5th session.
Yeah,
Amazing, we did it. Like
yes.
the experiment worked like 5 out of 5.
Yeah, good job.
Every day this week we went online for 1 hour streaming
Yeah.
our PKM Coworking session.
hmm Yeah.
PKM stands for Personal Knowledge Management, and it means that we are working on our knowledge systems and our personal knowledge vaults. For me, that would be Trickle and Obsidian and Drafts and Notion and so on, wherever I put my knowledge. What knowledge tools are you usually using at the moment?
For me, it's mostly Notion for work, like we use normally, but I've also started using it on a personal front.
Mhm.
And I also make use of Trickle now because I find it very helpful. And other than that, I feel like I make my like quick grocery list or to-do list on the Drafts app in my iPhone. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drafts episode.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
We are now in this 5-minute warm up, basically, or intro or motivation. And
Yeah.
then we are doing 2 Pomodoro sessions, 25
hmm
minutes each,
Yeah.
a 5-minute break. And we already learned that we get a little bit more productive and focused, the two of us, when we're doing that live.
Yeah.
We already know that um, co-working works quite well. I do Zoom co-working from time to time, and that works really
hmm
well. And
Yeah.
this also works. And the PKM co-working, the stream now is, first of all, now live at 5 p.m. in Germany, but
hmm
it's also recorded and it stays, to my surprise, also on Twitter
Yeah.
and YouTube. We're streaming that to YouTube and Twitch, of
Yeah.
all places. My daughter said, like, why? what,
Really?
what are you doing on Twitch, right? You have no
Oh.
right to be there. And she's totally
Oh.
right, of course. But
Mm.
still, since with this app, it's so easy to multi-stream to different locations.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
since it's an experiment, we
Yeah.
just give it a try.
Yes.
And yeah, today, speaking of my daughter, today I'm going to look into knowledge regarding screen time usage. If she sees
Oh.
that, she will hate it. I
Interesting.
realized that now is the time, she's 13 now, to really
hmm
also have conversations with her about that and
Yeah.
work with her about that. And I know
Yeah.
that I have knowledge. I collected articles and
Yeah.
some lessons learned and so on in the past. Maybe I do
Hmm.
a little bit more research, but I
Yeah.
want to use this time to get back to the things that
Yeah.
I learned in the past.
Yeah.
How about you? What are you going to do now?
I am going to catch up on some work and also simultaneously maybe also listen to a podcast, maybe in the second session
Mhm.
to get myself on track. So yeah, these are the two things on my agenda today.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, yellow card for working. This is the PKM knowledge,
Yeah.
PKM co-working. So
Yeah.
it's okay. We're still
Yeah.
experimenting. But the good thing is, this should hold anybody accountable to work on their personal knowledge, right?
Yeah.
We have
Definitely.
nice forcing functions already to
Yeah.
actually work, but to get back to our personal knowledge that we
Yeah.
accumulated, which could be,
Mhm.
even if you have a YouTube list of liked videos, or your YouTube history even has often a lot of interesting knowledge that you
Yeah.
already forgot.
hmm
And so it's worth to invest some time for that. And that's the
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So then we can start the first timer. Let me
Yeah.
mm, manage here the marvels of technology. No,
hmm
voila.
Yeah.
You see my screen?
Yes, I can see
Okay.
it.
Here again, we have this
Hmm.
PKM. You see the link. Uh,
Yeah.
no, it's further down, but you see the
And the
link
ticker.
there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you get to this page, and we will announce more dates for future sessions for next week
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go.
Okay. Let's start. Yeah.
See you in a bit.
See you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bing. That was the first session, the first Pomodoro.
Yeah.
How
How
did
was
it
it?
go?
Uh,
You first.
Me first? Okay.
Mhm.
So I listened to a podcast. I think I've told you earlier there is this um, uh, blogger, I would say, or an influencer, I can say, from Pakistan. She works on women empowerment.
Mhm.
And I really like her podcasts because they're focused more on like women centric issues from Pakistan, and she invites female entrepreneurs or females who are actually have crossed all of those struggles and are somewhere in their lives now in Pakistan.
Mhm.
So I like listening to that. So I started listening to those podcasts. I have to catch up on a lot of them. So yeah.
We are catching up on things from the internet is really dangerous.
Yeah.
There's just so much, right? But
Yeah.
um, I always find it good to then listen to a few, but not kind of going all in.
Yeah. Mm.
um, yeah,
How was it for you?
I struggled first to find articles. I was looking for screen time for children, and what helped was a little bit to get going by also researching a little bit in the background. So I opened, I searched for something, and then I reminded myself a little bit about what topics were there. And then I remembered that I have a social media
Okay.
stream.
Yeah.
And so I looked at that, and that was a real like treasure trove of arguments kind of against early social media use and
Right.
the pitfalls of doing that. And I really like this humane tech initiative,
Right.
Tristan Harris. That's really helpful. And the social dilemma, this movie. And I
Mm-hmm.
kind of already, and also this, I was reminded, like, this is so great when I look through my stuff. This Black Mirror episode. Have you watched a few Black Mirror episodes?
No, I haven't. I
This
haven't.
is so good. Black Mirror Nosedive is about like about a
Okay.
future where people are rating each other all the time, but in basic
Oh.
daily interactions. And this is so well made to show the problems that can emerge from that.
Ah,
Really
okay.
great. And
Mm-hmm.
so I will watch this with her. That's a great for a 13-year-old. I think that will stick. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
anyway, so
amazing.
I already now got a little bit brainstorming out of the content that I already have. Now I can follow that
Mm-hmm.
up and derive some notes and insights, most of all.
Okay. Okay.
So it was
Perfect.
productive.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then how do you feel? The second session is also always feel already harder than the first one, don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think the first session goes by very quickly because you're like you're a bit lost in
Mm-hmm.
everything, but you catch up in the second session and then the time does not seem to pass and it's a
Yes,
little bit harder. Yeah.
a little bit harder, yeah, but
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
helpful then to have the frame of the co-working for me
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's also good to stay in these 25 minutes
Yeah.
to push through
Yes,
um,
definitely.
and you really get something done.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's
So perfect.
more or less go into the next session. We have now, yeah, I can get the tech ready, sharing the screen. Um, like we will make appointments in the for the next session and
Mhm.
share this on Luma, right? Like we at the moment Luma only this session. It's at Luma/PKM Coworking, and and we'll add more sessions to it for next week.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go for it.
Sure. See you in 25 minutes.
See you then. Hello.
Hello.
Bing. Good.
Fantastic.
How was it?
It was good. I listened to the podcast a little bit more,
Yeah.
but then I researched about the series that you spoke about, Black Mirror. Is it the same that is there on Netflix?
Yeah,
It's a series. Ah, okay. So
it is on Netflix.
okay.
And it's a
Yeah.
special episode, right? It's called,
Okay.
one moment. Okay, so we talked about the, here, which was it again? Black Nosedive.
Okay.
Highly
Perfect.
recommend it. It's really, they always
Okay.
shake you kind of in a positive way. This
All
this
right.
one, not every Black Mirror episode is amazing,
Okay.
but I really
Okay.
like the concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now my question: did you take notes from listening to the podcast?
I did take some notes, but what I usually do is that from this podcast, it's more of an inspiration rather than, any good quotes that they say or any good facts or figures or concepts that I might be interested in. This podcast is more of an inspiration. So, but those that I like, I save it in the expert section of my Trickle account, and because the influencer herself and those that she invites are all like uh, famous people, you can say, or people doing something in their own respective fields.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
yeah, so that's how I can recall when I see that, okay, I've gone through this episode and this is what I liked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To show you how I do it, because I would really recommend you to take
Mm-hmm.
notes. This is what I did
Mm-hmm.
now. This was a podcast where Jonathan Haidt was at Sam Harris podcast.
Right.
And you see here that
Yeah.
I just write quick statements, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always include the timestamp so that I
Mm-hmm.
can get back to it, because otherwise I
Right.
don't, right? If it's just somewhere in the podcast, it's too hard to
Yeah.
find.
Yeah.
So I roughly write the timestamp,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then I um, write these statements, and they're not concrete sources, right? But most
Mm-hmm.
of the time, but they help me remember now when I did this. And Sam Harris is a good example because he doesn't provide show notes with all the sources.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if I go here to this episode website, I see the intro
Yeah.
of Jonathan Haidt, but nothing more, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
not the content that they talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so here I have basically, I can brief myself quickly with what they
The
talked
podcast
about.
was about. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, and it really helps my memory, right, to do this. And now what I did was I took this in Trickle here and added the sources that particularly stood out for me. So you see here, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, book, um, another book, the articles related to concepts, right? Free range kits that stuck to me,
Right.
studies, and so on. And this helps
Mm-hmm.
me again to remember certain things, and to
Yeah.
also, when I click on a study, then I know, okay, they're
Mm-hmm.
related to this podcast. That's where I got them from.
Yeah.
And I even clarified it even more in an insight, a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more,
Mm-hmm.
instead
Yeah.
of outlines of insights. But
Yeah.
so, but the main thing I want to recommend you is to take some notes, right? Like with a
Mm-hmm.
quick capture tool.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's very short. Look at this, for example, Donald Hoffman and Tim
Mm-hmm.
here. I added these quotes in one of our sessions actually, but
Oh, okay.
the main notes were like this, so
Okay.
really short.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
otherwise, it's gone,
Mhm.
and it's gone.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay,
So
good.
how was it for you?
Yeah, very good. Like I just showed you, I did this for the podcast episode.
Yeah.
And the good thing is I went back to an episode, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, 5-minute break is over. No, but
Okay.
we stop now.
Yeah. Okay.
If somebody wants to continue, they can just load another from the archive, right?
Yeah.
Another one where we start another session.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was great that I got back to a podcast. I mean, it was, I could have picked anyone, but Jonathan Haidt's podcast was related to social media and how its effect on young girls. So I looked into this, and then I went into all the content that I went through my notes, which is a really great, way to remind myself of what happened there. And now it's a little bit fresher. And I use the possibility to put it in Trickle, to update Trickle basically, because it moved further, right? It's now easier to add. And so, yeah, for me, it was a good session. Good end of the week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, perfect.
So then, again, Femina, thank you so much for keeping me company here, for working on your personal knowledge as well.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
You
And we
too.
see each other next week.
Monday. Yeah. See you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.